We here. Big fish shit. Ooh, ooh. Welcome to the podcast. Hope y'all enjoy it. Hope y'all learn something. And most importantly, we hope y'all elevate. Let's get it.
Big fish, hit a big lick. We gon' bet it right back and hit a big flip. We been up for a minute and we still lit. Get them cats gon' talk, but we don't feel shit. We just giving y'all gems y'all can live with. Elevate your mind, never mind all the bullshit. Finna talk about stocks, we ain't worried about ops. First get the bread up, then buy back the whole block. 10 toes down, we ain't never gonna stop. I'm a man of my word, I ain't never gonna flop. If I said it, then I meant it. Real ones gon' respect it, and it's still OG. It's in me, I represent it.
Ooh, ooh. What's the word? Big fish shit. I told y'all we're going to get more and more consistent. And if you're watching it on YouTube, please make sure that you not only subscribe, but definitely like. Definitely like, I would say, or dislike, but just, like. If you do have a dislike, I guess, you could do that as well. But, if you're on Instagram, make sure that, if you feel the need to comment or just feel the urge to comment, like put it out there. These shows or episodes, podcasts, whatever you want to call it, I'm only doing this to spark a lot of conversations that can hopefully, point us in the right direction and get us going. So we need everybody's contribution, input. It makes a difference. So definitely send to a friend, do whatever you may. Comment if you got an issue about something that I'm talking about that you disagree with. I'm sure a lot of you do. But, just interact, because it's not really for me to set the standard on, everybody. This is just for me to give, my perspective, my feedback on certain topics, and to get yours as well. So we can kind of, like I said, get this boat steered in the right direction. So today, probably one of my favorite topics, and one that I talk about a lot. And it's about emotions and how dangerous thinking with emotions, making decisions, moving throughout this world, moving in our day-to-day lives, just based on emotions, can put us in a bad position. And I want to talk about 4 key areas. Excuse me. I want to talk about 4 key areas. The first being politics, relationships, finances, and then religion. And have an open mind. And I say this because it's going to touch on certain topics or certain areas that can be sensitive. But like I said, remove the emotion and just think about it from a logical standpoint. Being that I'm in sales, that's the number one thing to do. You always want to tap into somebody else's emotion, but never get your emotions invested into the equation, because that's going to affect the outcome in not the most logical way that makes the most sensible way. However, it's just going to, go based on, how I feel. The problem is how you feel doesn't necessarily align with the desired result that you're trying to get. Feelings can be distractions in many ways. So let's dive right into it. I got to get my soundboard. And I'll be playing with my little tools.
Yeah. Ooh, you sound like...
All right, so I'll be playing. I got my little board set up. I don't usually use it a lot. I usually forget. Hopefully I can get it involved and incorporate it into the show today. But let's dive right into it. Once again, the topic is emotions and how they play a role in so many important areas of our life. And I'm going to get right into politics. When I think about politics and the effect of our emotions, it almost is like, and like I said, I'm getting right into it. Let's take Barack Obama, for instance. Barack Obama, when he was running for president, in my opinion, he took the same strategy that a black pastor at a church would have. Tapped into our emotions, talked about things like hope, united us with the belief that we can have something better, and all we had to do was vote for him. And I've seen a lot of politicians do this, but obviously there was a stronger emotional connection with Barack because he's black. And let me be clear, this is a lot of, this particular topic is talking about I think I think it applies more to black people. I think we are a more emotional group of people than any other group. However, I'm sure a lot of people can have certain things that they can take away from this conversation as well. And whether you're black or whatever else, especially black, I need you to focus on how this may play a role in other areas of your life as well. So let's get back onto Barack. When I think about Barack and when he was pushing the campaign for hope, all of these different things, I felt like I was damn near at church. And it's like, the preacher saying all this stuff, the pastor saying all this stuff, but is it really happening? And I feel like we always do that as a people. And when I compare us to other groups that are more successful, and when I say successful in the political realm, I mean as far as having an agenda and getting their agenda items done. Having whoever's in power leverage whatever they need to put our agendas at the forefront and to get stuff done that we're asking for. It never seems to happen with black issues, and I don't think that it ever will until we change our mindset, until we move away from thinking of things emotionally and letting these groups steer us, just by controlling our emotions. You look at the Democratic Party, we've been voting for them, and it almost reminds me of that, like walk by faith, not by sight. My eyes are wide open. Like I'm not walking by faith, I'm not walking by hope, I'm not walking by anything else but results. What have you done in the past 2, 4, 8 years? Just like other groups look at it, what have you done for our people and our agenda over the last 8 years? Let's look at that. I don't want to hear about the promises that you're going to do if we vote for you and if you get in office. What have you done? The best determining factor of where we'll go is show me where you've been. And that's how I look at it. So even with Biden, I know he had a speech yesterday. I didn't look at it at all because I don't expect much. I don't expect much from Biden. I expect, at least when it comes to black people, I expect Biden to do the same thing that Barack did, the same thing that a lot of other politicians did. Say and do whatever they need to do to get our vote. And then as soon as they get our vote, because we give it away so easily and we try to leverage our vote at the wrong time. We don't leverage our vote. We try to leverage what we want at the wrong time. And what I mean by this is our leverage, whenever we're just bad negotiators. In negotiating, you want to ask for things when you have leverage. So therefore, when you look at politics, it's almost like instead of us applying pressure because we demonize the Republican Party so much and the Democrats, they like us. Look, they wrote Black Lives Matter on the street, all this other goofy stuff. And we feel so locked into the Democrats. It's like we don't feel the need to leverage anything before. We just ask afterwards like, oh, well, Trump's not going to do anything. The Republicans aren't going to do anything. So you might as well vote Democrat. And it was like the first 4 years of Barack, it was like, oh, well, he couldn't do much, because he didn't have control of the Senate. And to be honest, the first 2 years, if I'm not mistaken, he had the majority. But we still gave him the excuse and said, oh, well, his next 4 years, he'll really do stuff. He just needs to kind of toe the line until, just so he can get reelected. He can't stir the pot yet. What happened the next 4 years? Nothing. What happened in his last speech? I encourage everybody to look at Barack's last speech. Go listen and just see how he pretty much takes all accountability off of him for the last 8 years and pretty much just says, like, he compares our black struggle to, I believe, like the Irish people, the Italian people. He names all these other groups and compares our struggle to them and pretty much says, I don't want to misquote, but I'm pretty sure he said, yeah, black people, we have struggles, but look at that Italian American, look at this Irish American. And you're trying to compare apples to not even oranges to steak or something. I don't, two completely different things and two completely different struggles. So it's almost irrelevant and it's almost kind of like a slap in the face. That's how I took it. Most people didn't take it that way, though. When I talked to my parents, when I talked to different people in my circle, they weren't as upset as I was about it. And they still wanted to give Barack a chance. It's like, oh, well, now that he's out of office, he can speak up on stuff. He hasn't spoke up on anything. The only thing that he has really spoken up that I've paid attention to or noticed, I don't really watch the news. I don't do all that. But the only thing that I've heard him speak out on and be vocal about are, well, Michelle's book, you know, as they go on their book tour. But other than that, just getting Biden elected. So, like I said, we get emotionally attached to people instead of making deals. The best time to make a deal is when you have leverage before the election. And that's what Ice Cube was trying to do. Ice Cube was saying, hold up. We're not emotionally connected, and we aren't tied to any party. Like, it's almost like you heard Biden, you're not black unless you vote for me. Pretty much what he was telling you is like, y'all black asses know damn well y'all better vote for me. And y'all know damn well y'all gonna vote for me, regardless of how this interview with Charlemagne goes. How could you take it any other way? It was a direct insult, and he let us know exactly how he feels about us. But what did we do? We voted for him. So therefore he was right. So I can't even be mad at him. You know, he was on his high horse feeling like comfortable enough to say that. I bet you he would never say, you're not Jewish unless you vote for me. You're not Hispanic unless you vote for me. You're not Italian. You're not Irish unless you vote for me. He would never disrespect another group of people and just let them know that, hey, I don't need to talk about any policies. I don't need to talk about your agenda, what you guys want to do. All I need to do, you're black, so I already got your vote. Now, for somebody who was responsible for a lot of the crime bill, responsible for a lot of people being locked up to this day, and the difference in terms where if you sell the same drug, coke compared to crack, in a different, pretty much one is hard, one is soft. It's the same thing. You know, blacks, because one was in the black community, you're getting sent away for, 25 years to life or whatever else. And, the coke, you get a slap on the wrist. So it's just ironic to me that the same things that we're trying to reform right now and that the Democrats are supposedly behind, they are in many ways responsible for. But we don't think about this because we don't think logically. All we think about is emotionally. Who comforted me? Who said something nice to me? Oh, the other side, they're racist. Let me give y'all a reality that black people don't seem to understand. Racism is the most natural thing on earth. Because we're so far removed from a jungle state, where we're just out in the, I watch a lot of nature shows. So it's pretty much like the gazelle is not on the same side as the lion. It's just not on the same side. They understand that different people and this group of lions is not on the same side of this group of lions. It's a competition. This is a competition, and we haven't grasped that. And every other group of people unites and uses their unity to promote their people, but us. We don't do that. Instead, we just get emotionally attached to other people trying to leverage our strength and our power for their benefit. So we have to get away from this emotional attachment to different people, and we have to get away from an emotional detachment to certain groups where it's like, oh, Ice Cube, he said that he wanted to present a program he didn't care whether it's Democrats or Republicans. Why should he? It's a deal. I don't care whether you like me or not. What's the best deal for our people? What's going to put us in the best position? Not who's going to pacify me, who's going to give me a hug, who's going to act like they're my friend, but then have no intentions of helping me out down the road. And that's really where we've been. That's really what this has been. This is why my parents continue to vote Democrat. That's why, I should say, our parents, most of us, just because it's like, well, what about the other side? Oh my God, like they hate us. I mean, I look at it like this. You got one group who we don't vote for, so why do they don't give a shit about our agenda. We don't support them. And then you got the other group who we blindly support, and they don't give a shit about us. So I feel more offended by the group that claims to be my friend and uses me to get my vote, but then when they get in a position of power, they don't use that power to help me out, more than the group who just doesn't care. I'm just not on their team. I don't vote for them. So therefore, it's like, what can I expect from you if I don't give you my support? I'm more concentrating on the people who I do give their support and why aren't they doing more for us? And it's because they just don't care. And it's on us because we don't make them. People don't do what you ask them to. People do what they're forced to do. And we don't apply that pressure. You look at the LGBTQ community, you look at the feminist community, they apply pressure. They apply pressure. It's to the point where Biden came out and said, his number one agenda was the LGBTQ community. Last time I checked, Biden's crime bill wasn't designed to just, address the LGBTQ community. That was designed to address the black community. So if reform is such a big, if he cares so much about us and reform is such a big thing, a big priority for you, then you would think that his number one agenda would be the people who support him so faithfully with that, walking by faith, right? Blindly supporting him. But it wasn't. So that's why I said I don't expect anything from Biden. And like I said, that's on us because we don't apply that pressure. We don't demand it. People don't do what you ask them to. They do what they're forced to do. So I want to go to the next one. I want to make sure that I'm staying on time. To the next one. So therefore we have relationships. And how do relationships, how do emotions affect our relationships? Now, when we talk about, I'm going to talk specifically about the relationship between a man and a woman or your partner. So it's almost like when I look at the black community, we feel like we're still in high school, like we never grew. Like we're still choosing significant others as if like, oh, who's the coolest? Who's the most popular? Like who's the best basketball player? All this goofy shit where it's like you should be choosing a partner who's going to be the best business partner. And when I say best business partner, marriage is a business. It's a business contract, and the business is your family. So what do you want to do with any business? You want to protect your business, you want to grow your business, and you want to be able to provide a certain lifestyle to your kids and the future generations based on the success of your business. Do we do that? No. Everything we do is emotionally. Oh, well, I don't like them. Yeah, they'll protect, they provide, they have a solid job, but he's just average. I feel like I could do better. Like I want to be so passionately in love with my partner. That's goofy shit. Throw that shit out the window. It's the dumbest shit ever. We are the only people that subscribe to that. And when I say we're the only people, I want to be very clear. Look at other cultures and how they marry. They understand that it is a business relationship. And I always get feedback when I say that from people, black people saying like, well, why should we look at them? Like, who said that they have the... Look at the results. It's not that I'm placing them above us. Maybe I am. They're winning. We're not. We're losing. So what do losers do? You don't study the Jacksonville Jaguars. You study the Patriots. You study Tom Brady. You don't study the losers. I don't care whether you hate the Patriots. The Giants hate the Patriots, right? Who's the head coach? Where'd he come from? Too much emotional thinking instead of logic. And that's what ends up happening to us all the time. We make these decisions based on emotion. Forget who's the most popular. Forget who is the greatest lover. Forget all this other stuff that doesn't matter. Who's going to be able to protect and provide, and who am I going to trust to lead my family and lead the future generations, and more specifically, my immediate family with my future, with my kids that I hope to have with somebody. But we will never look at it like that. All right, so I don't want to spend too much time on relationships, but we need to take a step back into thinking that we're going to have that fairy tale fantasy where it's just love and emotionally so passionate for the next 70 years that we're together. It doesn't work like that. And if you choose a partner based on emotions and feelings, what happens when those feelings go up and down? That's not what a marriage is. You can't decide to go to work and your work based on, you're working for another business. So you can't go into their business that you're working for and your performance be based on your feelings that day or how your emotions are. You know where that leads you? To get fired. And it's the same thing with relationships. If my feelings fade, then it's like, oh, I can't do this anymore. But it's more than feelings. Marriage is more than, you have the duty, you have the commitment, you have this is bigger than that, and it's bigger than you. It's a family thing. But for whatever reason, we've allowed these movies, Disney, whatever else, to make us feel like, oh my God, you have to be so in love. This is how it's gonna go, and it's gonna be so perfect, and they're gonna worship you. It doesn't work like that. It's a partnership. It's a partnership. You have your role that you provide, and I have my role that I provide. And we do them to the best of our ability to raise our kids and to create a legacy and generational wealth. Next one that I want to go on is finances. This should be easy. We are our money. As soon as we get money, it leaves. It leaves. We are emotional buyers. We don't buy with logic. We don't buy property. We don't buy things that are gonna accumulate wealth over time. All we do is invest in dumb shit to impress people who don't even matter. We want to buy the newest Balenciaga shoes, this and that. Buy the nicest Celine bag, whatever bag, with no money in it. Walking around all the flyest sneakers, all the flyest J's, no money in your pocket. That's childish. We still move childish. Why? Oh, because I really like that. It's a feeling. All back to the emotions. Make the logical decision. Make the logical decision. Instead of just these purchases that make you feel good. Because what makes you feel good is not going to necessarily set you and your family up for what's way more important down the line. Next, I want to go to, and I'll probably come back to finances too, but I want to go to religion real quick because we got about 5 more minutes. This is a tough one, and I'm going to be very careful because I know how, this could be a touchy topic. But please take a step back, as I take a step back, and just have an open mind and hear what I'm saying. When it comes to religion, we have been so emotionally connected to religion, we've thrown all logic out the window. It goes back to that walk by faith, not by sight, trust. Oh, this is God's plan. This is all. God's plan is what God's plan is for you to make your own plan. You do what you want with it. You decide what happens. It's not God's fault if you fail. If you win, work hard. You work hard and you win. That's on you. If you don't work hard and you fail, that's still on you. You didn't in 4th grade. You didn't fail your math test because of God, and you didn't get an A on your math test because of God. You got an A on your math test because you were smart and studied, and you failed it because you didn't study and you weren't prepared. And the problem with, and I know I'm going to hear a whole bunch of feedback, but let's just try to keep it on from an understand. I just want us to just look at it logically, even if you don't subscribe to this. Just for the next 6 minutes, please just walk with me on this path. And we've become so emotionally connected. It's like we don't understand what religion, like the purpose of it and how others use it to their advantage, because it is a tool. It is meant to, whether it's providing discipline, whether it's providing you a foundation, it's a tool used to provide all these things. And it's, however, is it? Other cultures, religions align directly with their agenda. And that creates a culture and a lifestyle that people can adopt in order to progress instead of to go backwards. You get what I'm saying? Like, your religion should align with your people's agenda. Your religion should align with your people's agenda. So, and how I am, I'm very black and white. I understand that people don't look at it like this. I look at stuff just from a logical standpoint, and I always just ask myself the question, is this helping me and my people move in the right direction, or is it not? A lot of people can't approach it like that because they're so emotionally invested. Oh, well, my grandmother was in the church, and that's when we spent our time together. Or my mom was, or my dad was the deacon, and this was just passed down. And there's a lot of stuff that has been passed down in the Black community that has not been in our best interest, that has been detrimental to us. And I'm not saying Christianity is just, that's a different conversation. In this conversation, I'm not condemning Christianity. I'm not. It really would do no good, because people would just shut it out and just, get so angry and stuff. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is maybe we need to approach it in a different way, with a different perspective, and use it in a different way. Because for whatever reason, we are the most emotional people when it comes to religion. We pray the hardest. All of these things. We're so emotional. You say something bad about the church or Christians, and you see how Black people react. And other cultures are not like that. Other cultures will definitely, you say something about, the wrong group, they will definitely, approach it. But they'll approach it and they'll get on you in a logical way, because they know that they need to protect that particular group, their well-being, their success that they've had. They need to protect all of these things. And the best way for them to protect it, they have to keep it tight-knit. They have to understand that any threat to the logical part, and any threat to the logical part, when I say anything that aligns with their culture and their people's agenda, when that's threatened, that's when they step in. And they will step on neck, whatever they need to do. And I totally understand and totally agree. But with Black people, we sit back, we pray the hardest, we do all these things. Holidays are so important to us. That's when we spend time with our family. However, it's not producing results, positive results for us. And I understand that people are going to say all this, well, God help me with this, God help me with that. I'm not saying that. I totally get it. All I'm saying is that when we step away and approach things with less emotion and more logic, we're able to see things a little clearer, and to just ask ourselves, and without feelings. When feelings get involved, it just throws our logic off. I believe there's something about that in the Bible with your heart. But I don't want to quote anything or misquote anything. However, we just have to understand, long story short, everything that we do, whether it's politics, relationships, finances, religion, anything that we do, we have to understand that it has to directly, we talk about that word intentional. It has to be intentional to align with moving us in a positive direction, so we can win, so we can compete first and then win. Because that's the only answer to anything in this world. If we want to make a change, win. Compete, win, and then change it. You can't complain. Losers who complain, your complaints are gonna just be in the wind, because you don't have any power until you win. When you win, then you can make changes, and you don't have to ask other people. You just make them within yourself. You demand them. Just like I said earlier, people don't do what you ask them to. They do what they have to do, what's in their best interest. So when you can create a situation to where it's in that particular group's best interest, it's in that Democratic Party's best interest to make sure that they do stuff for us, not after the election, but before the election, because they know that they will not get our vote and our support, then we can win. That's leveraging our power. But we can't leverage our power unless we're thinking logically instead of emotionally. And I know this was a more serious, podcast. I'm not even gonna say more serious. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. But this is how I feel. So we're gonna continue to have these conversations. Please, if you're on YouTube, like and subscribe. And if you're on IG and you see it, give me a like. Give me a like. It doesn't cost you anything. Give me a like, drop a comment, and let us know how you feel. All right, big fish shit. We here. Big fish shit. Ooh, ooh. Welcome to the podcast. Hope y'all enjoy it. Hope y'all learn something. And most importantly, we hope y'all elevate. Let's get it.
Big fish, hit a big lick. We gon' bet it right back and hit a big flip. We been up for a minute and we still lit. Yeah, them cats gon' talk, but we don't feel shit. We just giving y'all gems y'all can live with.